there was always a gracious beauty to Willie Mays.
Way back it goes, and tell it, bye,
And his number 24 in bronze on the bay, blanketed now in flowers. Well before the Polo Grounds and Candlestick, in Encore and Shea, he wore the 3 Bs of his hometown Barons at Rickwood. The first thing I ever put my mind to was to play at Rickwood Field, Willie said. Now, for the first time in history, the very week Willie leaves us at 93, Major League Baseball comes to play on this field. It was my start, my first job. You'll never forget that, Willie said. Playing there was it. Everything I wanted. In spirit, the Say Hey Kid will forever be here, where it all began. Rickwood Field.
Four years before Wrigley Field, 2 years before Fenway Park, Rickwood Field opened in 1910. You know, Willie was all about bringing people joy, all about having fun, and that's what we'll try to do as we honor him tonight. Celebrate the Negro League, celebrate Willie Mays in his city and in his ballpark. It's the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals, and we go to the field with Tom Verducci.
Thanks, Joe. If these walls could talk, they would tell more stories across more years than any ballpark. Rickwood opened in 1910, a true wonder in the Magic City. Since then, almost half the players in the Baseball Hall of Fame have played on this field, from Walter Johnson to Satchel Paige, Babe Ruth to Henry Aaron. But Rickwood tells more than baseball stories. It tells the story of American history, about how until 1963, it was illegal in Birmingham for blacks and whites to play any game together, about how Willie Mays and his Black Barons teammates were not allowed to use the locker room here. Jackie Robinson played here with the Kansas City Monarchs and the Brooklyn Dodgers and said that the diamond is our civil rights laboratory. She has seen so much. Rickwood is our mother church of baseball. And at 114 years old, with a $5 million makeup, she is as beautiful as ever. Tonight in the Magic City, Rickwood tells another story. Now, here's Kid Rosenthal.
Thank you, Tom. We're here with Mason Wynn, Cardinals shortstop. Mason, your stepfather, Earl Luckett, coached some of your youth teams, and he used to have you guys wear the names of Negro Leagues players on the backs of your jerseys, then had you do reports on them. What are your emotions here tonight playing on this field in this game?
Oh, my emotions are running high. I mean, you know, obviously that performance before the game was unbelievable, very touching. I mean, I'm just so happy to see, you know, the players from the Negro Leagues get honored the way they have today. And, you know, I'm sad it took this long, but I'm so happy for them, man. It's incredible.
You guys stood in a line, met all of the players before the game, the Negro Leagues players. What was that like for you?
It was unbelievable. I mean, for me, you know, I grew up learning about the black history in baseball, and to be here today, to be playing on this field is an honor, and to be around those guys and just to have a conversation with them was amazing to me.
Your team, their feelings coming into this game, knowing the importance, knowing Willie Mays just passed. How is it?
I mean, it's, you know, we all want to come out here and perform every day, and, you know, today feels like it's a little bit bigger than baseball. It feels like, you know, a lot of the country's watching this, and, you know, everybody's hurt by Willie's loss, and we're going to go out there today and, you know, obviously playing hard every day, but today especially trying to get one for him.
Mason, thanks very much. Good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Joe.
And of course, there's always going to be a celebration of the Negro Leagues, a celebration of Willie Mays, where he got his start 2 days after his passing. The Giants playing in the city that he grew up, and in the ballpark where his career began. We got a perfect night for it. And what a perfect start for it with that ceremony.
Yeah, absolutely. I just feel like this is a 2-hour, 45-minute, or 3-hour, whatever game, life lesson and learning to get to enjoy this moment, right? You see movies, but we get to see it really before our own eyes. And these players certainly are wanting to win a baseball game, but they understand with the ceremony what everything was all about.
Let's continue that learning a little bit that you mentioned, John Smoltz. Rick Woodward was an early 20th century Iron Baron who loved baseball, and he purchased the Barons in 1909, immediately went to work building this ballpark and traveled up north to study for the ballparks that have been built in the big leagues up there. Learned from Connie Mack. Came down here with the lessons he had taken from Connie. And he actually had an engineering degree from MIT. So he said, I'm going to have this thing built with my own design. And it set the stage for what is an historic place here as the Giants and the Cardinals get ready to face off. And the Giants, wearing the 1946 San Francisco Sea Lions uniforms, come to the plate with this starting lineup, sponsored by Harbor Freight. They've dealt with all kinds of injuries this year. One of the silver linings to that is these guys at the top have gotten a chance and been their best hitters, and Brett Wisely and Elliot Ramos. Patrick Bailey, one of the top young catchers in the game, bats third. And it's Matt Chapman at third base. Michael Conforto's in left field. Jorge Soler's looked more like himself lately. Hit a grand slam yesterday with Wilmer Flores at first. Mike Yastrzemski's in right field, and Nick Ahmed back from injury. His first week back is at short, hitting ninth. On the mound for the Cardinals, this is Andre Palante, who's gotten a chance with Steven Matz getting hurt.
Yeah, trying to build up his innings, and I think for both pitchers who have struggled a little bit, they would have loved to have pitched in this original ballpark, which we'll document later, but the fences were gigantic. Obviously, this is more traditional baseball, so the fencing and the dimensions are going to be Americanized, but got to throw some strikes tonight. The balls should be jumping a little bit. It's hot, and for St. Louis and San Francisco, they're both in the same spot. In the wild card, they got to win some games down the stretch.
Yeah, it's a crowded area, isn't it? There are 9 teams within a game and a half of the last wild card spot. These 2 teams are 2 of those 9. Here are those dimensions you were talking about. When we walked in, we walked right along that original wall, which was impossible to hit it out, but it didn't really matter at the time when the place was built because home runs weren't cool yet. Babe Ruth hadn't come around. In fact, in the first game in this park's history, the Barons executed 4 consecutive bunts in the 9th inning to win the game, and that's what the people wanted. But as time went on and as Ruth made his impact on the game, they said maybe we should see a few more home runs here.
You know, the other thing that's changed, it was 85 feet from the catcher to the back wall. So imagine the wild pitches and the bases you could go. It made me nervous because I threw a lot of wild pitches early, and that would have been wearing my catcher out.
That was one of Connie Mack's influences as he helped design this ballpark. Connie was a catcher himself, and he thought any way for the catcher to be more involved was a good thing for the games. He said, let's give us a bunch of space. All right, we are all set to go. Brett Wisely climbs in. Andre Palante out of the stretch comes home, and off we go with ball 1.